And
What about
and
ISCO? ISCO started out very strongly. I'm just wondering why he's now, you know, uh, well, I don't want to use the word languishing, no, but he's kind of like down to a very low third, no. I mean, coming from where he was just just before the filing of the of candidacies, how would you evaluate the well, his campaign so far, even though it's not yet campaign period? What do you think happened there?
I think that in essence, Richie, the opposition vote, or what Ranjit's called the protest vote, coalesce around VP Lenny. And so all of the
Mm.
votes that are anti-Duterte and anti-Marcos are, I think, now with VP Lenny. And the question is, hanggang dun lang ba yung anti-vote na yon? My suspicion is yes. Kung anti-vote lang, parang hanggang dun lang siya. Hindi na siya, maaring meron pang iba, yung mga left halimbawa, di ba, na wala pa sa kay Lenny Camp, but that's, that's like what, 1%, 2%, or even less, no? So, and that's why for any of the opposition or non-Duterte, non-Marcos campaign to win, they have to grab and convert from those 50% plus that's already with Marcos now. Kaya yun ang sinasabi ko na kailangan mo siyang and Cisco has been trying to do that now that he lost the opposition vote. I think pre-filing, he had some of the opposition vote kasi people thought that Lenny will not run. And that's why medyo running strong siya. Nung tumakbo na si Lenny, wala na yon. And his only chance was his own popularity vote, which is what I think he has now, depending on what you look at. So Octa actually is not as bad as he is with the Pulse Asian. I mean, I think 10 or 12% siya. Dito sa Octa, 2 or 3 points behind lang siya kay Lenny. But what he needs and what he's trying to do is to get votes from the Duterte camp. Now, I want to address what Robbie was talking about the Marcos campaign, what to watch out for. I think two things. Obviously, the disqualification is like everything becomes tabula rasa after that, diba? If he's disqualified. But if he's qualified and it's done before election day, I think that will lead to Aimee running and Aimee winning even decisively because people will be angry if in fact he is disqualified. But if it's qualified after the elections, then we know it will be the VP that wins that will take over. Now, essentially, that's the legal questions there. But how he responds to a COMELEC decision, um, to there'll be oral arguments probably in the Supreme Court. That's a big thing because that's a test of character. We saw that in the case of Grace Po, for example, and how that campaign were also running already and doing the campaign. They also had to defend themselves legally, and Marcos is going to be in that spot regardless of how the COMELEC first decides that. So babantayan natin yon. I mean, because um, people will watch out what's the character of the presidential candidates that's leading and now has been disqualified or might win in the COMELEC, but is now has to face the Supreme Court, and that's a big thing that will influence the way they also campaign. The other thing related to that is the Duterte. What will President Duterte do? We're not yet sure now. I mean, will he actually endorse someone else, or will just stay out and eventually support Bongbong Marcos? That we don't know. But the reaction to by the Marcos campaign on what Duterte will do, let's say Duterte will endorse Moreno, for example, which is what they have been hinting at, and which Moreno has been hinting at. Uh, how will Marcos react to that? Will he turn against Duterte? So far, he's been very smart. He doesn't attack Duterte, so he keeps the Duterte voters. Um, and so that those are the two things we have to watch out for the Marcos campaign. But I have to say again that they are very smart. The group that's running the campaign of Marcos should not be underestimated. They really are professionals. They know what they're doing. They know their messaging. They know their strengths and they know their weaknesses. Um, and to sort of ignore that means you're going to lose
Yeah.
because you have underestimated them.
I think Tony, I just want to seize on that. No, you had a very good description of the campaign of Bongbong Marcos. They're very disciplined. They're very on message. It's very clear, focused, professional, everything. How does that compare, and how does that frame what you see of the campaigns of, for example, Leni Robredo?
Well, Lenny Robredo's campaign is volunteer driven, as we know, right? I think our colleague John Neri has described it as a movement and has described the advantages and disadvantages of that. Uh, and the advantages is you can swell that to scale up the numbers very fast if you go out of your comfort zone. And that for me so far is the challenge from what I've seen. I mean, I see, for example, that in many of my own bubbles, it's Lenny all the way, but they do not really get out of that bubble, and in particular having any presence in barangays. If Bongbong wins this election, I actually think it will not be because they have vindicated the Marcos um, name, they have a better platform, etc. But what people are telling me, in my students, my colleagues in barangays, that there is no other candidate that they are hearing about in their barangays. Walang ibang kandidato, which is surprising for us, in the middle class. But even that, the middle class is so limited, as we've seen in the last two service polls, and OCTA ABC is also even more solidly with Bongbong Marcos than with other candidates. No? So a movement is good, but the movement needs to expand outside its comfort zone, which means you cannot be self-righteous. You cannot attack other. If you want to convert ISCO voters, you do not attack ISCO. If you want to convert Duterte voters to Lenny, you do not attack Duterte. That's really the basic thing at this point in the game. And this is not about whether it's right or wrong to do it, but it's simply that it won't succeed. It won't succeed in converting votes. No? Um, and the other thing, of course, with the movement is it lacks discipline, right? I mean, I don't know if you noticed this attack, this debate between the Leo de Guzman supporters and some of the Lenny supporters. That was ugly, really ugly by the Lenny supporters, particular, not many, but some, to attack a union organizer, a worker, for having a good meal with the family. There were the children actually work abroad, and it's as if you're, uh, uh, it is very in very bad days. I'm sure Lenny and his people did not condone that. In fact, I saw some of them pull back. But with that lack of discipline in the movement, you'll have that kind of problems as you go along.
I also want to state this quickly. No, I don't think Isko Moreno's campaign is languishing. Mayor Isko's campaign is as competitive as VP Lenny's campaign. There's a very little difference between, at the moment, based on our survey, between their campaign, Senator Pacquiao's, and VP Lenny's campaign. I think that it's too early to throw in the towel. And of all the other candidates, we have to understand Mayor Isko is the preferred second choice. And we believe that there will be campaigns that will fold up. No, that is, at least that's what I believe. No, this will be a costly campaign, and resources might be depleted, midway or towards the latter part, and the beneficiary of these collapsing campaigns will be, at least based on our survey, will be largely the campaign of Mayor Isko. So it's very competitive. It's too early to call these campaigns as out of the game.